everybody. 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here, and boy, we've got a really nice afternoon out there. The sunshine finally came out. I don't know if you were up early, 8, 9 o'clock. It was still kind of warm, still kind of humid, but by 9:30, 10 o'clock, really right around 10 o'clock, the dew points just dropped, and we were in the mid-60s for dew points throughout the day today. So really, really warm out there today, but well, warmer, I should say, but lots of comfortable air out there. A nice little break that we haven't seen in quite some times. And of course, the sunshine came back out. So actually really pretty nice right now. You can look at temperatures at 90, 91 degrees right now. I was wanting to look here when we got that, because it looks like we didn't get to 90 until about 11:50. So almost 12 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Let me do some of the math here. It's 10, it's 13 hours, so 133 hours. It looks like we went about 133 hours. 144 would be 7 days, right? 6 days. That would be 6 days without seeing 90 or better. The average high this time of year is 91 degrees. We just went 6 days well below that, which is because of all the clouds and all the showers. We don't have that now, but you can see we definitely warmed things back up. 94 in Wesley Chapel, 91 obviously as you saw there in Tampa. Bartow at 93, Riverview's there as well. Now we do have a light westerly wind, so we do have upper 80s at the coast. 88 at Clearwater, St. Pete, 87 in the Gulf, 90 at Newport Richey, and 84 right now in Sarasota. Look at Homosassa coming in with 96 degrees, 93 up there in Brooksville. That Homosassa number seems a little too warm for me. But you can see that we've got mid-70s now for dew points, especially south of I-4. But look at Brooksville, Port Richey, upper 60s to near 70. And the further north you go, the drier the air is. Now look, this is not real noticeable, but anything in the mid-60s is noticeable for us because we're generally in the mid and upper 70s. And Orlando's there, Gainesville's there, Jacksonville. I'm not exactly sure, but that's a pretty good number there in Tallahassee. 54 degree dew point. All those kids just went back to school, especially if they're from our area, and they didn't have to go far to get some cooler, drier air, or at least some drier air. And that's what they're looking at right now. So much, much more comfortable. You get up into, I mean, look at all this. That's just great. 49, 45 degree in Raleigh, dew point. 50s in Wilmington, 39. Mount Mitchell was in the upper 30s this morning. That's in western North Carolina, the top of the mountain. Now that's up high, of course, and we get some crazy numbers, but they've had some really, really cool air there, and you can see just how dry it is. We won't get that. I mean, look how we stick out here, right? You can see all of the dry air. You can see the coloring here, right? All the dry air here, and then look where the moisture is. It's coming up here across the plains. And then, of course, we've got it here in Florida. It's like a thumb, right? We just stick out like that. Now, there are going to be some changes, I think, with that, and we'll talk about that coming up. Obviously, there's a front in the area. That's what's been getting all this rain, at least slowly, sinking southward. Friday, this thing was sitting up here. Saturday here, Sunday, yesterday, today. Okay? So it's been dropping southward all the way since Friday afternoon. Now ahead of it, we get that good westerly wind, and you can see that here, right? Look at all that wind. Well, it's not wind, but it's that flow that brings the moisture in off of the Gulf. And so, I mean, we've got rain right now down in Sarasota County. And in fact, some pretty decent rain, Vamo and into Venice. It's not severe or anything like that, but Inglewood's got some good rain. And that will continue. Northport with some stray showers in the area. And then look at DeSoto County and even Southern Highlands County. All right, a couple thunderstorms out there east of Arcadia and towards Lake Placid. Again, nothing severe is expected. You can see this is where we have our thunderstorms, so just some light rain out here along the immediate coast. But that's the difference, right? That's the difference from that cold front as it pushes further off towards the south. Now, that's as far south as it's going to go. Tomorrow, it does start to back up a little bit. We'll see a few more clouds and a slightly better chance for a shower tomorrow than what we've seen out there for today. But we're not talking widespread rain. There's nothing terrible in the forecast for tomorrow, but I think we went about 30% chance for the showers tomorrow. That's not a lot, right? But we will bring back just a few of those clouds. So let's go through the forecast model, okay? So tonight, we're looking good. This is 9 o'clock. Most areas stay dry. Dew points are creeping back up. They're going to stay in the low 70s, about where they are right now. But I still think it's a very comfortable evening. Stray shower chance. You see this here? Manatee, Sarasota. A couple showers up here. I just don't think there's much at all, so don't cancel any of your Wednesday night plans. Tomorrow morning, looks dry. Thursday morning, getting closer to Labor Day weekend, 7:30, lots of sunshine, very few clouds on the map. And then here we go. We're getting a little bit of moisture back. This is around 1 o'clock. You see the sea breeze right here? That's what this line is. See the white clouds? That's the sea breeze and kind of the bay breeze coming around here like that, okay? We're getting some showers and storms, Feather Sound area, Safety Harbor perhaps, and then down into western Manatee, northern parts of Sarasota County here. That's around 1 o'clock. Now watch as we go through about 4 o'clock. These have drifted further inland, so there's the line now, but we still have 1 or 2 trying to pop up here along the coast. But this is not a lot of rain, okay? This is a afternoon shower or thunderstorm, and the chance is only 30%, and even that's kind of high because most areas just don't see it. That's 8 o'clock on our Thursday. All right, now let's get out to Friday morning. Friday morning starts dry again for the most part. Here's the difference. See this onshore wind here? See these arrows? When we start with that, and that's going to pick back up by Friday. Remember, our frontal boundary is kind of up here now. That gives us a little bit of, well, it's an onshore flow, but that gives us a chance for a stray shower in the morning right here along the immediate coast. Includes Pinellas County. The model says it's really Manatee County, Sarasota has a chance for that, but we'll watch for it. Now, once we heat up, 1:30 on Friday, okay, here's your clock, here's the day. Here we go. Sea breeze coming in. See the sea breeze? It started along the coast. Now it's pushed that I-75 corridor by about 1:30. So that this wind's turning west-northwest, and it's going to push everything inland. And so there we go with our rain chances through about 6 o'clock. You see how it just moved kind of eastern Hillsborough through Polk County, Hardy, DeSoto, and Highlands County. All right? So it's not a lot of rain, about 30 to 40% chance. And I think that's kind of high, but it's more so than Thursday. All right? So now, let's go at least to the beginning. I can only take you out to the beginning of Saturday. I'll show you on a different model. Things are going to get wetter, I think, as we get into the weekend, and we'll talk about that. So tonight's forecast, hot out there now, well, back to the low 90s, and then we're falling back down through the 80s this evening. I think it's a very comfortable evening. Northeast winds, northwest winds will come around to the northeast, but only around 5 to 10 miles per hour, and most areas are dry, so no worries there. Tomorrow starts dry. Tomorrow afternoon, 30% chance. That's right around 1 to 3 o'clock. I'd say 2 p.m. has that 30% chance. After that, you can see they're back down to only about 20%, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, and that's it. We are warm again. We're back to around 90, 91 degrees for a daytime high. But look, that's average for this time of the year, okay? We'll take that. We've been really above it. Now, boating forecast, east winds to the west around 5 to 10 knots. You see that east wind there? That's 1 o'clock. That's a shower coming through. You see the blue? It's a little bit of breeze with the shower, but then you see by the evening hours, we're back around to a very light northwesterly west wind, okay? 87 in the water, smooth out there on the bay, and seas only right around 1 foot. So there's the Labor Day weekend forecast, all right? Upper 80s to near 90 Sunday and Monday. I mean, yesterday we were thinking Sunday was going to be a soggy day. I still do. Good 70% chance for rain. 60 to 70% chance for rain on Labor Day. Here's what it looks like. This is Friday afternoon. Remember we talked about some showers drifting inland. Not a big deal, but you see them over here, okay? There's Tampa. Not a big deal. Saturday starts dry, but we do have a few more showers. Notice the wind. The wind's moving in from the west to the east, okay? So Saturday's going to park some showers and storms, start them along the coast, and then push them over on the east coast by 4 p.m. That's not terrible. We can make plans around that, all right? Great boating day, by the way. Sunday, 6 a.m. Look at this. This is what we just went through. We had the front to the north, this west flow. Guys, we're going to do it again on Labor Day weekend. That is your Sunday afternoon right there. Let me back this up just a little bit. Look at that. 6 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and it looks cloudy. It looks soggy. This has been thinking that, right? We thought Sunday was the day to watch. Let's go out to Saturday morning. What's changed? Not much. This front has come a little further to the south. We still have this onshore flow. It is sinking southward, so the better rain chance is going to be Tampa southward. But watch by the time we get towards the afternoon hours, 3 o'clock, look at all this. Again, the same thing. Now, if you're in Hernando, Citrus County, you'll start to see a little bit of clear, a little bit of less rain. And now, look, the devil's in the details. This is Monday. All right, we're sitting on Wednesday looking at Monday's forecast. It's going to change a little bit. But right now, oh, it's soggy. And then we clear out, of course. Go back to work and school on Tuesday, and things start to dry out. So you can see from this that the dry air doesn't really get in here until Tuesday and Wednesday. That's Wednesday, okay? Now watch this bigger picture. That is not an early September pattern. And in fact, that could get some dry and cooler air in here by the middle of next week. We're going to a break right now. I'm going to talk back when we come back about the tropics. That setup right there may actually help protect us as we get into September from the tropics. I'll have that coming up in just a minute.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. You need quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
These big trucks are dangerous and fast. And when it comes to big truck wrecks, the stakes can be really high. That's why you need a lawyer that's gotten big results for his clients. Hi, I'm attorney Dan Newland. I've recovered billions of dollars for accident victims. So if you've been hit by one of these big trucks or involved in a car accident, call me now. Let me fight for you.
At 813-888-8000. That's 813-888-8000.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Secure outdoor equipment and generators. Clear debris from around your AC unit and schedule a pre-storm HVAC and electrical inspection.
Those are some great tips. And Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
Jeopardy is for everybody.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
With players just like you.
Paramedic, a retired teacher, psychiatrist.
I'm a little bit competitive.
That's the spirit.
Watch their victories.
We have a giant killer.
And heartbreaks.
Oh, no.
The next super champion could be anyone.
It's almost like a superhero origin story.
It could be you.
Oh, wow.
It's all happening on Jeopardy.
Jeopardy weeknights at 7:30, right here on 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, welcome back. 4:42. Time to talk a little bit about the tropics. Now, we still have Fahrenheit, but that is it. Look at that tropical update, Matt. That is a great look right now. Nothing that we're watching in the Atlantic Basin other than Fahrenheit, and Fahrenheit's not even going to affect anybody. That's headed out to sea. You can see that we are watching this little wave down here. We've been watching. Well, it's tough to see now. It's kind of moved over here. Let me see how far back. Let me go back 48 hours here. And here we go, right here. Watch right here. You see that? That was the wave that we were watching. Forecast models had it here, and they had it kind of falling apart in here. And then look what happened. This is yesterday evening. And look, poof. I mean, literally, poof. That's it. Nothing. It's gone. It is completely gone. This is not even it, okay? This right here is not it. That's just another wave that's fired up near the coast, and that will continue to move off towards the west. So we're not seeing that. We've got this big trough that's come down. A trough is this dip like this, okay? That means storms coming out, it get up and go out, just like Fahrenheit did. Storms coming this way would pull up and go out. Things from here would have an issue. But this is actually not necessarily a bad thing for us to have that kind of setup, right? So that's where we are now. Here is the track on Fahrenheit, not that we need it, but it will become what's called extratropical by tomorrow. They're actually thinking it might happen today. Now they're saying it'll happen tomorrow. But that's when it's already losing its warm core status because it's out over cooler water. And it will continue to drift further off towards the north and the east there. And as a result, it's just going to continue to move out. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to do anything. I mean, we had Aaron just go into the UK or to Ireland, right? And it was actually a pretty decent storm when it went in there, but that's just a North Atlantic non-tropical storm at that time, okay? But they did have some good winds and some rain going with it. So it's not that it just goes away, all right? Here's the forecast model, and there's the wave that's going in over San Salvador now, but you see it just goes over to the west coast. And this takes us out through Labor Day. That's Labor Day right there. That's Tuesday of next week, Wednesday, another wave coming off. Guys, there's nothing. I know you see a lot of green. There's another wave trying to come off of Africa. But look, this is just the other front, right? And look what's happening. You see how the high pressure's sitting here. And so anything coming out here kind of wraps around this high pressure. If it gets in here, it's going to get sucked right up and out again. That's why having this trough here is a good thing for us. And it's not typical for this time of the year. Typically, this high pressure that's sitting like this, okay, typically that sits around over here. And things come around, they come underneath it, and then they try and come up into the Gulf. Or every now and then they try and curve, all right? And that's kind of what we've been seeing lately. So at least this is what the Europeans thinking. There's a ton of shear, and you can see it here. Look at all this. You see that? Look at all that shear there. That's kind of outlining the trough there. This is the wind shear. Obviously, we're not, wind shear out here doesn't do us any good. But when it does get here, it does help, okay? There's wind shear in the Caribbean. Not a lot, but anything coming across the Caribbean is going to have to go through that. At least this is Saturday. All right, now watch this big trough sitting in here. It fades, and then it comes right back. And that's a pattern that's hard to get tropics near Florida at that time. Look at all that over North Florida. That's a lot of shear. That's as we get into next week. That's September 5th right there. Look at this thing reloads. And what that tells me is that also is a better chance for us to get some of that drier air down in here as we get past Labor Day weekend. All right, so this is September 5th, Friday. Yeah, we got a shot next Thursday, Friday, week from today, of getting some drier air in here. At least a taste of it. I mean, it's still early September. You're not going to get a whole lot this time of year. But there's some shear out here in the main development region. Okay, still some here. So fairly quiet as we go through September 5th at least. Now, this is the water temp anomaly. Not the water temperature, but how much warmer and how much cooler from normal is the water right now. And look at this right here. That is the wake of Aaron. Okay, Aaron came up and just went right up through here. Fernan went up actually east of here, but it's such a small storm. But Aaron was so big, this is what's called upwelling. So the winds are blowing along the surface of the ocean, and that's warm water. We know that, right? Well, if you go further down into the water, the deeper you go, generally the cooler that water gets. And when you have a big storm like Aaron and it blows that water away, it actually pulls the water from underneath. And so cooler water comes up to the surface, and then that's what you see on the map here. Next storm that comes around has less energy. When it gets over here, this is less energy. If it came up over here by Bermuda, it would have plenty of energy to make a strong storm. But if it happens to follow in that trail, it's going to be cooler. That is a great thing for us to see. We knew that was coming, but that does help us out quite a bit. All right, so let's go out through. This is what I just kind of showed you, that big trough in the eastern half of the United States. And we go all the way out to September 6th, and then it reloads, okay? Here's what it is now. This is halfway through, and that's September 6th, all right? So when we look ahead at the forecast, this is for September 3rd through the 9th, all right? We're not looking for a whole lot of development. We'll watch for some waves in here, but then watch what happens as we get past September 9th. The 10th, which is the statistical peak, by the way, of hurricane season through the 16th. Probably going to see more development get started here. Makes sense. This is the statistical peak of the season, and we're just about there right now. But basically what that means, we've got about 75% of the rest of the season headed our way. So don't let your guard down. It's nice that we'll be quiet over Labor Day weekend. You have no tropic worries, but that doesn't mean the season's over. And of course, we'll keep you updated here. All right, 4:48. Let's take a break, and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about the weekend.
I was driving when an 18-wheeler turned in front of me. I locked up my brakes, bam, slid dead into the truck. Bloody and hurt, I was loaded into an ambulance, and that's when I put out my phone and called attorney Dan Newland. Dan jumped right on it. He was in my corner the whole way. He fought the fight from beginning to end and got me $1 million.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Dan, your awesome team deserves 6 stars. Thank you for winning my case.
Weather impacts your life every day. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. You can find out about any change in the weather with our 10 Tampa Bay Plus app. Just stream for the latest forecast, any weather impact alert, updated tropics forecast, and take a live look at the radar. Anytime you want, and it's free. It's just one more way we're helping you stay informed, prepared, and connected. Stream 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
And it's like a movie script. It's family rivalry, betrayal, and murder. They cover America's most fascinating true crime stories.
One way or another, that's an execution.
Absolutely.
Every case,
Who would want to hurt him?
every clue,
This is dynamite for an investigator.
every mystery that keeps you guessing until the very end.
Does everyone's jaws drop?
Dateline, 5 times a week.
Watch weekdays at 4 on 10 Tampa Bay.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. You need quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
Okay, 4:50, almost 4:51. Let's talk Labor Day weekend. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into it because here we do what's called a weather impact alert. And that's our way of giving you a heads up to when the weather's a little bit different than normal, when it's going to cause an issue for you. It doesn't necessarily mean severe weather. When we have severe weather, in theory, we will tell you that, right? We will say, hey, Thursday we expect some severe weather, so we've done a weather impact alert. I'm thinking we're probably going to have to do one Sunday and Monday. And the reasoning is widespread rain and clouds and on Labor Day weekend. So we kind of factor that in there as well, too. We know a lot of folks will be outdoors. They have plans. It's a Labor Day weekend. And what's the weather going to be? The weather's going to affect you more than it normally would. So most likely, either late tonight or tomorrow morning, we're going to issue that for Sunday and Monday. And that's our way of giving you a heads up that, hey, look, it's going to get soggy. And there's not expecting to see severe weather for Sunday and Monday, but a good 70% chance for it. Just think what we saw last weekend. And the weather tends to repeat itself. I think we could do the same. Here's what it looks like on Friday. Friday night looks fine, right? You want to get the weekend started. Saturday looks good. And if you have boating plans or any kind of plans right now, outdoor plans, I would plan on Saturday being your best day to do that. Here's Sunday morning. There's Sunday afternoon. All right, that is what we saw last weekend. We had a front to our north. We had a west flow bringing in all this water. You see the wind arrows here coming in from the west, and you get all of that rain. All right, this is Monday morning, Labor Day. Labor Day morning, Labor Day afternoon. Same thing. This is what we had last Monday. Front slide a little bit further to the south, but look at all this flow coming in from the west and all the rain, especially Tampa southward. So this may change just a little bit, but right now, it looks like that's kind of the bet. I mean, yesterday it definitely looked like it was Sunday. Today it's still Sunday and now Monday. We're trying to see if we get some drier air in here. It doesn't really look like that's going to happen. The dew points, though, will stay a little bit lower than what they have been. So it's not terrible, but even right now it has more humidity than it did at mid-morning this morning. So we've already come up a little bit. And as you look ahead to next week, all the way out through Wednesday, we're still in that low to mid 70s for dew points. So still kind of muggy. But I show you this because I do think that we may end up looking at some slightly cooler and drier air by the time we get towards Thursday, Friday of next week, about a week or so from